You're listening to the Navigating Magic podcast. This is the portal where we illuminate ways to weave ancient wisdom with modern knowledge in order to help ground your experience in this lifetime. I'm your host, Natasha Andreo, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Welcome back to the Navigating Magic podcast. I have a very special guest with us here today. Her name is Amy Vickers, and she's someone that I truly admire. And I'm so touched when she received a sacred yes when I asked her to be on this podcast. Amy is a homeopathic student at the Golden Spiral School of Homeopathy, and she is a herbalist.
Kind of hobbyist herbalist
and an amazing witch. We're using this term and we'll unpack, I guess, a lot of the stigma around this term. But welcome, Amy. It's so great to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. I couldn't believe it when you asked me. I was like, yes, definitely yes. I am keen as, but yes, very humbled to be here too. So thank you very much.
The reason that I felt such a push or a call to ask you to be on is because I've known you behind the scenes. And in the last few months, I've gotten to know you really well. And I have honestly and wholeheartedly just seen you blossom. You are a living example of metamorphosis. And you talk about the butterfly, in the cocoon, and you are now, your wings, I feel like you are ready to fly.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. I have also got a bit of, what is that? A Bug's Life, that caterpillar. I'm a beautiful butterfly. That's how I actually do. I'm feeling very much in my butterfly era at the moment.
So good.
Yeah.
Now, for some of our listeners who may not know who you are,
Mm-hmm.
I would love for you to share a little bit about your journey into how you landed as a homeopathic student. Like, why in your late 30s would you decide to go, okay, I'm now ready to really change and transform not just my life, but the lives of the people that come into contact with me?
That's so funny. Literally unleashing homeopathy unleashed Amy Vickers, I feel. I do have to say a huge thank you to Eugenie Kruger. I've been her clinic manager for 3.5 years now. And I had the opportunity to go to Unleashing Homeopathy in Bali last year, back in 2024. And I got to meet the incredible Danitza Appeline, the amazing Declan Hammond, which I have nicknamed the Dumbledore of homeopathy because he is just so like wizardy and magical. And yeah, he just gives me wizard vibes. And I'm like, oh, if homeopathy had a Dumbledore, it would have to be him. And like Hilary Dorian, all these amazing homeopaths. And I've loved homeopathy for probably 6, maybe close to 7 years now. But I was happy being a clinic manager and running my little Happy Patch Herbals business after hours and, doing my gardening, mumming my 4 children. And then I went and I met all these people and I was like, actually, I could do this too. Like, this is actually really cool. I want to do more. Because I think, like everyone, you just underestimate yourself and your abilities. And it's a little bit of that, like, who am I to be that person? And then I was like, well, they're all amazing human beings that we would all aspire to be, but they're all just human beings. So I was like, okay, I'm doing it. So I literally got off the plane from the Bali conference on the Sunday. And that Monday afternoon, I had booked my discovery call with Danitza to find out more about her Golden Spiral School. Her curriculum just screamed yes to me. Same, like just this real sacral as I was reading it, every single module. Like, and I've always loved witchcraft. So when her modules were broken down into 13 modules, I was just like, talk dirty to me, I am there. So yeah, Yeah. So here I am, nearly a year in. We're wrapping up, I think, this weekend. So this weekend's our last weekend until I think then we take our midterm break, our mid-year break. I don't know. It's either this weekend or next month. But yeah, it's been nearly a year and I can't believe how quick it's gone, how amazing it is. And I just love every minute of it. I can't wait to do this for the rest of my life.
Wow. I think it's so important that the thing that stands out in your story is that you received an instant call.
Mm,
And if I look around and I see so many people where they do get an instant reaction to something, whether it be to study or to travel or to go and, apply for that job or to quit your job or to move homes or to buy that car or to buy that handbag, whatever it may be. We're all in different, phases of our life. But what stood out and what I admire you most for is the fact that you received that sacral, like your sacral really spoke to you. And
mm,
this wasn't a decision that you made with your mind. It's like you dropped into your body and then you acted on that quickly.
yes, very quickly, or I would have talked myself out of it.
And had you not acted so quickly, like you said, you would ruminate. And so many people are not acting on their life ambitions, their purpose. And I think it's really sad.
I do too. I actually had this conversation literally today at the clinic. There was another lady who's umming and ahhing over studying. And I was like, what does your gut tell you? And she said, my gut tells me yes, but my head keeps on coming up with all these reasons why I shouldn't, like lack of time, lack of money. I was like, don't listen to your head. Your head will find every excuse under the sun to not do it. If your gut's telling you yes, do it. It's a yes. So I hope she does.
Well, it's
I
it's
think it'd be amazing.
it's that advice that you've given her, but not only is it the advice, I think it's you become the living testament.
Mm,
Other people want the juice that you're on. They want those magic beans because they can see it in your life, in your lived experience. And I think that's magical.
yeah, it is pretty magical. I'm pretty much loving this. I am on the magic beans. I feel like I'm on a little. Never done magic mushrooms, but I imagine it's kind of like this kind of high. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Now, when you reflect back on the last 9 months,
Mm-hmm.
your journey in being a student, you
Mm,
you can feel it in your bones, you can feel it in your life, you can feel it internally, but I think it's starting to show up externally in your life this change
mm.
is happening around you. And we knew 2025 was going to be a groundbreaking year, but I don't think you knew it was going to be this groundbreaking.
No, no, I did not. I did not. It's honestly like, yeah, life-changingly, groundbreakingly, amazingly, wow. Everything is just wow at the moment. Yeah, yeah.
So when you look back at the last 9 months of all that you have learned at being a student at the Golden Spiral,
Mm-hmm.
I know it's going to be really hard to pick a favorite moment
Mm,
because it's like picking a favorite pet or a favorite child.
yeah.
We can't say it publicly, but deep down, in different moments of time, you have, more energy expelled onto one thing.
Mm. I don't know what my favorite child would be in homeopathy. It's all been incredible. Holy moly, how do you pick? How do you pick? Oh, you're asking a Gemini Manigen to pick one thing, and I actually think that's impossible.
Era.
I'm like,
Okay. All right. See
um,
that's a really important note to make. For those of you listening, if you have any manifesting generators in your life, it is the worst thing you can do to a manager is just ask them an open-ended question.
yeah.
Generators and manifesting generators actually need you to provide them with two choices.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let me rephrase the question
Okay, love it.
and say, instead of just making it an open question, I would love to ask you okay, for those that are feeling called to the healing modalities,
Mm-hmm.
to the health industry in
Yeah.
general,
Yeah.
there's so many different pathways that you can take.
Oh, definitely.
And the old conventional way would be, you'd go to uni, you'd pick up a particular topic, a degree, nursing, midwifery, um, naturopath, naturopathy, et cetera.
Hmm.
And you would go and study, spend 4 years, pay a fortune in HEX debt, high,
Hmm.
college debt, and then you would come out with a degree with a very big loan that you'd have to repay through your taxes, and you're following a particular indoctrinated
Yeah. Yeah.
system that isn't necessarily serving the patients, even
Hmm.
though that your heart's in the right place and you are coming from a place of service.
Yeah, sure.
It's now 2025. Homeopathy is taking over the world, and it's not just taking over the world from this is the latest trend, let's get on this. It's because people are seeing results
Yeah, 100%.
in their homes, with their families, and in a bigger context from that.
Yeah.
And so you obviously chose Golden Spiral School because something stood out to you. There are many other schools out there, and
No.
it's not about being biased, it's about aligning with what's resonating with you.
Hmm.
So I guess I want to ask you, what made you have that big fat yes
Yeah.
to Golden Spiral?
I think you're right, there's so many amazing homeopathy schools alone out there, 100%. The thing that made me go yes to Golden Spiral and just I will make it work when it comes to money, time, everything else doesn't matter. Um, it's not like any other course. Like I've looked into CHE, which I think is incredible and amazing, and I love Marcus Fernandez. He's amazing. There's a few other schools that I just think are incredible, like the School of Homeopathy in the UK. I thought that was a great choice as well that I looked at. But Golden Spiral was different because it's not just new earth remedies like Golden Spiral and mastic gum and all these amazing new homeopathic remedies that we've got our hands on now. It teaches you a foundation of the constitutional, like the ground roots of Samuel Hahnemann and classical homeopathy, and it grounds you in those 250 odd years of like proven, steadfast, hasn't wavered homeopathy. And then it throws in the magic that I was missing when I did study homeopathy at a different online school where it was just so like chewing on just unmoisturized wheat bix. It was just so dry and just like it felt so hard to get through even the first few modules. I was like, no. And then you throw in elements that Danitza's put in, like where you also have to go and see a homeopath yourself. So I think it's each year you've got to see a homeopath 6 times per year, which I just thought was like, yes, because from a healing perspective and in the healing industry itself, so many of us are called to become healers in some way, shape, or form because we've been hurt and we've suffered and we've had things happen in our lives that we've gone to look to heal ourselves and then have gone, oh my goodness, I want to do this for other people. But if you're not healed yourself and you're not continuously working to heal yourself, because healing's a spiral, right? Which is why I love the golden spiral too. It's like you'll think you're good and then it'll be like, bam, no, actually I'm not. And you go back around and you have your little moment and then so I love that it's got that element of it too. She's built a beautiful community. Like obviously it's not just Danitza. There is so many other key players in what she calls her dream team and her board of people and like the grandmas she calls them, which there's so many beautiful people that all play this part. You're joining a family, which has been incredible to join, which I just love. I think she has really found a beautiful balance in foundational homeopathy and then the magic of homeopathy. I think it's the only school that I know of that will teach you how to triturate remedies, how to create remedies, how to prove remedies, like all of that, which I mean, it's like baking a cake and never tasting a cake. Like, how do you put out a cake if you don't even know what it tastes like? Because you can read the recipe, but if part of it is just you don't read it, you feel it, you are it. And I think that's what she has been able to curate in her curriculum so beautifully. I mean, obviously, I'm only 1 year in, but I can't see it getting anything less than even more magical and more amazing. So I'm just here for every minute. I literally love when I know that I've got a live study weekend. I do love the fact that I can do a lot of it behind the scenes by myself, like batch up video content and study when I've got the time. And then I love that every weekend, once a month, there's 2 full days of just live course where you are interacting with your peers. Some of it is just like on the spot learning, on the spot questions where you can't always put that into a curriculum. It flows. It is what it is. Like whatever's present in that time and place is what sort of gets added to the course too. So it evolves with us right at the time when we need to learn it or feel it or embrace it. So that's just been incredible. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I love it. No
It's
regrets.
it feels like it's the lived experience, and each module that you're learning, each
Mm.
weekend that you have together, there's so much that's uncovered. But from what I'm receiving from you, it does feel like it becomes a remembering.
Yeah, it is. It's a homecoming to self. That's how I feel it is. It's like, yeah, just, yeah. We're really being reminded of like who we are as well and what we're capable of, like unlocking all these little superpowers we never knew we had. And I think that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Mm,
When I see Danitza, I can receive her emails or put her posts out on her social media. That what I see is that it's not just a homeopathy course, it's a personal development course.
yes.
I
Yes.
want to say with homeopathy with a personal development
Yeah.
aspect to it. And that's like one of the big foundations that's creating these
Mm,
amazing homeopathic students that are now born leaders in our
yeah.
world.
Yeah. That's what I liked. I was like, I'm going to learn stuff, but I'm going to really discover things in myself too. And just, yeah, it's been amazing. And also, like, I think, how can you be a homeopath if you've not seen a homeopath? Like, how can you, that empathy, it's almost like that lived experience. If you haven't walked a mile in someone's shoes, how do you know what it feels like? So to be able to be a client on the other side of the desk or the other side of the screen having a consultation, like that's an insight that no book or video could ever teach you. So I think that's really beautiful. That's like a prerequisite of the course. I think that's great. The book list too. When I saw the book list for the course, I was like, oh yes. Oh yes, 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 yes. Because I've had the pleasure of seeing quite a few of those books along the way. I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
think every homeopath will cherish their book collection.
Oh,
And like our pets and our children, we can never have a favorite, but different books will speak to you at different seasons in your life.
definitely. I cannot wait to get to my new house and have my library reset up because, oh, I love my books.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm like you, I'm
Mhm.
bookshelf shopping at the moment to make space for the new home. And I'm like so excited about
Yeah.
making it just the place where it's the zone.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to absorb all that information via osmosis just by being around those books. I will probably have to read them all at one stage, but
Yes.
if I can just look at them for a little bit, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
the amazing thing about those books is like when I used to teach tertiary at a university, kids would always say, I call them kids, even though they're adults,
Mm.
say, oh my gosh, I can't read this book. It's like 400 pages. And I say, it's not a book that you read from start to finish. It's not like a novel. It's you're going to read different chapters and different segments when you need it, when it's necessary to. And
Yeah.
you'll always remember, like I used to never highlight my books because I'm like, no, they're precious, they need to be. But I've started recently, I've changed and shifted. I don't know how you feel about that.
I feel like that with my books because I've got the beautiful Materia Medica from Robin Murphy. And oh my goodness, people say that they write notes in them. And I'm like, I can't. But then I'm like, so I've compromised and I have sticky notes.
Nice.
Like, it's got some sticky notes, but I'm like, I can't write on it. I just feel I will probably break my rule coming into year 2 because we are now starting to receive cases and there is some serious knowledge coming through. And obviously, like the materia medicas are such old school language, even Robin Murphy's, which is like the New Testament of the Bible per se. Like you've got the old version and then you've got the new version, but it's still quite harsh in a lot of its descriptions. So to have some notes there that sort of add a little bit of 20th century sort of language to it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I kind of feel like it's sacrilege to write in my books.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've highlighted, I haven't written, but who knows?
And like the pages are so thin. I'm like, what if it comes through on the other side? So
Mm-mm.
maybe I need to get highlighter pencils
We
when
get
I
pressures.
create the, yeah.
Yeah, like my husband the other day needed a stand, like so he grabbed my Materia Medica, and I was like, "No, you can't touch that. That's the Bible." He's like, "But you're touching the Bible." I go, "Yeah, it's my Bible. I can touch it. You can't touch this. You can't come near it."
I 100% agree. I'm like to my kids, don't even look at my books. Don't even look at them. You'll get it dirty just with your eyeballs.
That's too funny.
Oh.
Now, not to take change the topic because it's all interrelated,
Mm,
but one of the things that I have really loved about you is
mm,
you taught myself and a few other amazing women something that is life-changing.
mm.
And it's something when the concept was first thrown at me, I'll be completely honest and say my initial reaction was, there's no way I'm doing that. I'll confess.
Not gonna lie, when I first heard about it, that was my response too. Because we've been conditioned to just think it's not something to do, or you don't touch it, you don't play with it, you definitely don't turn it into medicine and ingest it, right?
Exactly.
I can totally resonate with that. It's a very valid response considering our conditioning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And for those listening, this concept is to essentially make a medicine out of your menses,
Mm-hmm.
out of your own blood.
Mm-hmm.
And Amy has taught us how to triturate our menses.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 2 live classes. And what came of that experience, I know for myself and a few other women, has been absolutely life-changing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And this is something that I wish in a perfect world, when I think of a utopia, every young lady should learn and should do on her very, very first bleed.
Oh, could you imagine that?
Imagine.
What an initiation. And I'm sure there's probably, who knows, cultures, because I know it dates back to like the Egyptians, the Mayans. They might not have triturated their menses in a mortar and pestle, but it was sacred. Like your menses was sacred, your bleed was sacred, being a woman was sacred. Kind of the opposite of now, where you're made to feel almost like dirty and embarrassed, and like it's not something to talk about. Like you wouldn't sit at the table and talk about bleeding to most people, let alone your family or any of the males in your family, like heaven forbid. I remember like going and getting a tampon and like you hide it away, don't you? And you like scurry off to the toilet, like no one's even allowed to know that I've got my period. Whereas that's not, I mean, obviously you don't need to walk around and free bleed if you don't want to, and you don't need to put it like wall paint on your face. But I mean, if that's your thing, by all means,
Yeah.
you should be allowed to do it as well, right? Um, yeah, yeah. So I definitely felt like that at first. And then there was just something that I kept coming back to. I was a bit intrigued. And because I have sort of, I've teetered on the edges of witchcraft since I was about 15, 16. But I'm definitely more of like your green witch, your white witch. I don't do rituals and sacrifice and stuff, but I do spells and like manifest and candles and incense. And I like to celebrate the seasons with like a little mini altar and kind of things when it feels right. I don't like live by the calendar, but it's like when I feel like there's a time I will, when I feel like my crystals need charging, I will. And that sort of led to, I learned about blood magic. Now that's not something I personally have done, but it's very powerful in the magic world to use your blood as magic. And so when I was learning about trituration and when I found out you could make remedies out of your menses, my ears pricked up and I was just like, okay, tell me more. I'm intrigued. And then we had the blood moon during an eclipse. And I kept getting this like, you need to triturate your menses. And it's funny because I actually had collected my menses and had it in the freezer and I was going to do it. And I kept kind of talking myself out of it of like, oh, no, yes, no. And then the blood moon, I don't know, just something screamed at me of like, you really need to do this, which to a lot of the people, astrologers, even witches, triturating or making moon, like you're not meant to make moon water on an eclipse because the energy is chaotic. So like the logic is you probably shouldn't make medicine on an eclipse. But it felt right. And I was like, stop listening to the head, listen to the gut. I've really leaned into that lately. And I did it. And oh my goodness, I just felt like I just cracked open like, you know, you hear about like the glass ceiling where you get to a point and then you don't go any further. And there's like just something stopping. I honestly felt like that was my cracking in the glass ceiling where it's just like, you know what, you can do whatever you want. Who cares what people think? Who cares what rules are written? I mean, I know you've said it too, like with not obviously that, but so many people give you like these hard and fast rules of like new moon is for new beginnings, full moon is for endings. Whereas to me, like I resonate when you say like the full moon is a beginning. Like I feel like that. I feel like the full moon is like fresh and energetic and yes, like do the things, not oh no, like don't do the things. So it was just like bugger it. It feels right. I'm gonna do it. So I did it. And then people were like, ooh, tell me more. So it was like, okay, let's tell them more.
And I think what was fascinating around that time was one of your reels that you created went viral and it hit over 1 million views.
Yeah, that was insane. I think I pissed a lot of astrologers off with my I'm gonna manifest on a full moon, and everyone's like, "You do not manifest on a full moon." And I'm like, "Well, imagine if they knew that I was triturating my menses on a full moon. That'd really piss them off."
Well, that's what got you and I talking. I was like,
Mhm.
let's point out something.
And you know what? I am all for. I will humbly. I love to learn. So if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. Like, and I love that. So when you did, you commented on my reel and you're like, probably shouldn't manifest on the full moon. And I'm like, tell me more. Like, I don't know. Why shouldn't I? It felt right. Manifesting on the full moon seems right to me. And you laid it out there. And I was like, okay, you raised some valid points. You raised some valid points. I'm down with that. And then I was just like, I think I need to book an astrology reading with you to learn more. And it has just sort of cracked open Pandora's box, hasn't it? It's been,
Yes,
yeah, yeah. So everything happens for a reason.
it really does.
Who would have thought that remixing a harmless little reel of some dude dancing to a silly song would have, yeah,
Yeah.
here we are now.
And I think life always throws us these little synchronicities, and to think that your reel like the reach that it had and the comments that like it was weeks and weeks later, and I was still
Yeah,
getting notifications of like
I still get a notification every now and then
yeah.
on that. I'm like, wow, that was a long time ago.
And I think that's like the universe's way of saying, hey, this is the direction you should go down. There's something in here for you,
Yeah,
which too many people ignore
yeah, yeah.
in that regard. And so you not only created or triturated your own menses and made your own womb medicine, you then took it upon yourself to want to teach this to other people.
Yeah, because I was like, I would love like a little coven of ladies where we all just sit here and triturate at the same time under the full moon. But in this day and age, like getting together a whole group of ladies, but we could do it via Zoom, couldn't we?
Yeah.
And that was lovely. Yeah.
It was absolutely life-changing. And it wasn't until I learnt when you were speaking and you spoke to us about how sacred this is, and
Mm,
that, you know, when you're creating this, you're only creating it for yourself, and
yeah.
just the process, and not that there are rules, but just the process involved, the intricacies of this must happen and this must not happen.
Yeah, it's like a ritual, like and a meditation all in one, isn't it? And there's something I don't know about you, but when there's that sound of the mortar and the pestle grinding together, there's like this hum almost that comes from it, which it does sort of set you into a bit of a trance almost. It's a journey. It's definitely a journey. And it's physical too. You have to earn that journey because I don't think anyone, if you've never triturated something before, it does take energy. You are like that constant grinding and circulatory motion for an hour per trituration level. It's a marathon. You really do have to push through some of that to earn it at the end, which I think is really cool too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm,
And I'd love to know if you feel comfortable sharing
yeah.
during the meditative process when you were triturating each potency, did you receive different downloads and different insights with each level?
Yeah, some of it I just felt like it was almost like singing, just, I don't know, like it was weird for me. It was weird because it was almost like a confirmation, I guess, that I was doing what I should be doing. Because
Mhm.
I doubt myself. I'm not someone who, to those who know me, they think I'm like confident and like that. I'm not. I'm actually not. I don't like being a leader, and yet I still find myself in this spot quite often where apparently I'm put in a position to lead or teach. And it really, like, I did feel like a lot of it was just telling me that I am meant to be doing what I'm doing. I am meant to be putting myself out there to be judged by some, laughed at by some. Like, it's quite a different thing to be doing, right? Yeah, there was a lot of like almost feeling like I was like journeying off into the stars, I guess, like
Wow.
on a little intergalactical tour, and kind of like feeling like I was like looking down on what is going to be, I guess.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was really interesting. It's hard to put into words. I don't know what your experience was, but I feel like it was hard to put some of it into words. Some of it is not just seeing, it's feeling like almost validation, um that I'm allowed to be who I am. Yes,
Yes.
and also like really embodying who I am as a woman. Like I love my mum, but I have been raised by a mum who is not a feminine mum. She is definitely more in her masculine. I have always felt really weird being feminine. I don't know whether it comes down to like being this short little girl that I've got to prove that I'm like tougher than I am. And I really felt that when I was doing it, it was like really making me like embrace, like, I'm okay to be a girl. I'm okay to be a woman. I'm okay to be sensual and like pretty and stuff. Like, you don't have to be tough and whatnot. Yeah, it was interesting. It really was. I don't want it to sound cliche, but it's almost like rebirthing yourself, I guess, of like, I'm whoever I want to be, not what I'm told I am.
Wow.
I don't know. It was, yeah, it was honestly, it was a journey and a beautiful journey. And I really want to do it again, actually. Like, I don't know. I almost feel like, I don't know whether doing it every year would be the right thing, but I'm keen to dabble. I don't know. I don't know.
I
But yeah,
I'd love to share with you because
please.
no, I haven't shared any of this with anyone really, but when I first learnt about this with you, I was like, oh yeah, this is cool, but
Mm,
not for me. I was like, I'm happy to learn it, but I'm not going to do it. And then after the second class, just something sat in me going, wow, I feel really called to do this. And
mm,
I knew that my period was like, I think 2 weeks away. I was like, okay, it'll give me time just to prepare, get all the things ready. And then it was a Saturday and I went to go meet my auntie. Now that afternoon, I really didn't want to go. I love my auntie, but I just wanted me time.
mm,
And I knew that if I went, that take up, time, and I feel like time is very precious,
mhm.
and I'm very selective of how I spend my energy. But I just kept getting this nudge, you need to go, you need to go, you need to go. And so I went to visit my auntie, and when I was there with her, out of the blue, and I don't even know how the conversation came up, I feel like it was this big, synchronistic accident where my auntie revealed to me information about my grandmother,
Yeah,
my mum's mum. And she basically shared that my grandmother had, so I've got an auntie, an uncle, and then there's my mother. So there are three living adults.
yeah.
However, I found out that my grandmother had given birth 11 times,
Wow.
and only three of those babies are alive today.
Mm.
And so there are eight souls that
Yeah,
have entered this world, but not fulfilled
yeah,
human potential. And I think one stillborn is enough to scar anyone for a lifetime, let alone eight.
yeah, definitely.
And I just sat there receiving this information and I was just blown away. I was gobsmacked. And I asked as many questions as I could in the moment, not realizing the impact that it was going to have on me very
Mm,
shortly afterwards. And what happened was two of those babies lived to be a couple months old and they died, but six of them were stillborn. And what makes this story so profound is that my grandparents migrated over from Syria and Lebanon to
yeah.
Australia, and my auntie was only 5 when she came here, and she remembers my grandmother packing baby clothes to come to Australia. And so, just in that moment, just hearing that, I just thought, wow, this woman had hope.
Yeah.
She believed in new beginnings. She thought a new country, a new life would provide for her a longing for this baby that she was, traumatically enduring
Yeah.
prior. And I found out that she did get pregnant when she was here, living
Mm.
in Sydney. However, the baby passed away 3 days before his due date. And that was the information that my grandmother, sorry, my auntie told me. Now, I then received my period the very next day,
Oh, wow.
early. And I
Yeah.
go, wow, I can't diss this coincidence. And
Hmm.
so I saw my auntie on Saturday, received my period on Sunday. I started triturating on the Monday. Now,
Yeah.
what happened when I did the first potency was I just set the intention to receive ancestral healing
Yeah.
for whatever needs to come through. And what happened in that process was I felt so much grief from my heart to my throat.
Mm.
I felt the biggest blockage. I felt like there was this gulp in my throat. My heart was so heavy. I actually, I recorded it on fast hyperlapse mode, but
Yeah.
I was just crying the whole time. And I felt like I became my grandmother.
Oh.
Now, what happened in that process was I relived, even though I wasn't even alive, but I relived what my grandmother went through,
Mm.
sitting in a hospital bed, not speaking any English, not understanding any of the nurses, the midwives, the OB. And
Yeah.
I relived the moment where they're talking to her in English and they're telling her, I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat. And she, in her heart, knows that something is wrong, but she's looking around the room, wanting someone to smile at her, to give her
Yeah.
that bit of hope, but she never received it.
Oh, goodness.
And it was it was like a remembering. It was always like I was not a fly on the wall. I was
Mm.
a cell in her body
Mm.
looking out at the world. And it was such a powerful process. And then what happened with each potency that I did, so I decided I would do up to 8 potencies, and that
Mm.
would be one for each soul
Yeah.
that was created. And with each potency, I got to receive another insight into my grandmother.
Mm.
And it was like I can't remember which potency, but it was this understanding that between her and my grandfather, when she came home from the hospital, it was like she was just expected to move on.
Yeah.
There was no time for healing. There was no, 40 days of postpartum. There was none of this understanding. It's like, okay, you've got kids, they're young little kids, you have to move on. You can't talk about it. You can't, and so it really felt like it was unprocessed. And by the time I got to the eighth, I was dancing.
Oh.
To go from crying and deep grief, and then the last, I just kept swaying. I was moving. I just kept
Love
connecting with my womb. It was such a sensual experience. And I don't think I've ever experienced magic in the way that whole week, it felt so sacred. I didn't want to be exposed to the outside world
that.
because it
Mm.
felt so special for me. I wanted to contain that energy, and I knew it was just for me.
Beautiful.
And that's a huge testament to like what you have taught, Amy. Like the way that you taught it was so easy and simple to follow. So thank you.
No, thank you. And like that goes down to the beautiful Danitza who shared so much of her wisdom for me. And there's an amazing homeopath here in Perth called Sally who does olive homeopathy, who was the very first person who taught me to triturate, and I've been able to triturate with her a few times. So I'm just grateful that I've had these beautiful homeopathic teachers to then go, okay, I can take something like that and then gifted onto someone else too is just beautiful. And I like to think that old Samuel Hahnemann would have been over there going, yes, ladies, yes. Because he was such a rule breaker too. Like, so it's nice to think that, you know, it lives on. It lives on. And what a healing experience, because not like just, I don't want to digress, but like I've had 2 miscarriages. I've got 4 children and I've had 2 miscarriages along the way. And I can't imagine going through, like I've lived that where you've had the ultrasound and then they go, there's no heartbeat. And that's hard enough without then not even actually hearing that to like, like I can't imagine that. And to then go through it 8 times. And it's a weird thing because you kind of do just like people like you just go about your life, and it's like, how do you just go about your life? I can't imagine what your poor grandma went through to do that 8 times. Holy moly. And I know there are women out there that have done it so many times. Yeah, it's an insane thing, but how beautiful that you could potentially do something like this to claim back a little bit of that sacredness and whatnot. I don't know. I think the possibilities are endless when it comes to triturating your menses because
Oh,
I just think it is like it's opening the portal to your womb, and however, whatever needs, like that's the beauty of it, is like you're turning your menses into whatever you need. So it's like everyone needs something different. So it's like, what do you
absolutely.
need? So for you and for your ancestral healing, how beautiful, right? That's what you've done.
Absolutely.
So,
And like one other part to this story, which I think is pretty profound, is when we were getting married, we were supposed to get married in 2021,
mm,
and we had the amazing memory of lockdowns in 2021 in Sydney that were very harsh, but we've suppressed all those wonderful times,
yep.
and we had to reschedule our wedding date. And so I checked in, I intuitively chose the 1st of May in
Mm.
2022. And then I checked the astrology and it was a new moon in Taurus. And so I checked in with the venue, checked in with, we had people flying in from interstate and everything aligned, tick, tick, tick. I called my mum and I said to her, "Oh, we've changed the wedding date to the 1st of May." And she said to me, "Oh, that's the date that your grandmother died, but 31 years prior." And I remember just in that moment thinking, I think the old me would have seen that as like, oh, bad luck, or, like that's the date, that she died. It's not a good memory. But in that moment, I just said, wow, she'll be watching over us. And I really did see that as a moment of, death and rebirth.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, Nick's grandfather died. And Nick's half Greek, half Italian. And so this was the Greek grandfather. And when he died, we were at the burial site, and he was buried next to the grandmother who had died 10 years prior.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there, standing there at the funeral, and I was reading her gravestone, and I realized something profound that she died on the 14th of October, 2012, but Nick and I met each other on the 14th of October in 2017.
Wow, isn't that cool?
And so for us to have met when his grandmother died, and then to have been married on the day that my grandmother died, I was like blown away by this correlation. And so since that, I have constellated this deep mystery, and I found out that there was someone in Nick's bloodline, a,
Mm.
a Greek young lad who wanted to marry a Lebanese Syrian girl, but because of the cultural, religious, societal conflict that would come of this love, it was never allowed to happen.
You got your own Romeo and Juliet story.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
And
that.
so Nick and I have come to bring to life what was once lost, what was forbidden,
Oh,
forbidden love.
oh, oh, that's gorgeous. Do you feel like you got these like two grannies, like
Cupid,
married,
Granny.
that like they got your bunnies and they were like, you guys are gonna go meet. I love that. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Just destined to be, hey?
Really much so. And so I think feeling that connection with my grandmother, and like coincidentally, Amy and I were supposed to meet up a couple of weeks ago, but it was just a hectic week, and we're meeting up tonight, and my grandmother's birthday is tonight.
Oh, that's beautiful. I have to light a little candle for her when we're done.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's gorgeous.
So I think the unfolding of triturating the menses, it just brought all that together.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know that there are so many other women who would love to share their process and their journey with what they feel comfortable with. But I guess the importance of also journaling
100%.
your process, because you will look back at this and just see the magic in the mundane.
Yes, the magic in the mundane. Definitely. And that old catchphrase, you just can't make this shit up. Yes. I love it. I love it. No, I look, honestly, my girls think I've got a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and an 8-year-old, and then a 10-year-old son. My 12-year-old and my 14-year-old think I am batshit crazy and would never like to ever triturate their menses apparently. And like they were even opening up the freezer going like, Mom, is your blood gonna be in here?
That's
But
funny.
one day I hope they come to me and they're like, actually, mother, can you teach me the ways? And I will be like, sure, child, come hither. We shall journey together. And
It really comes to everyone in perfect timing.
it does exactly that. Like, honestly, like what you were saying with like your auntie and your meeting, like I'd stashed away my menses in the freezer to do it. And then umming and ahhing over trick trading during the blood moon during an eclipse. And then I got my period that day. And I was like, don't even need to break out the menses in the freezer. Like, I'm just being told, like, you need to do this.
Now.
So I was like, I'm listening, universe. Don't need to beat me over the head with a telephone book. I will do the things. And I'm so glad I did the things. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes. Need to listen to that gut, right?
Yeah, so, so powerful. And you know, you can almost like look back over your life and see the instances where you ignored it, and then you
Yeah.
can see how the outcome turned out versus those moments where you did follow it. And it's not just listening to your intuition and your sacral response, it's acting on
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, exactly. You've got to do the work too, right?
follow through. Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think that's what, like the moon cycles in themselves, that's what they teach us. Our own blood cycle teaches us this. And then the various phases and seasons of our life also have this.
Yeah.
And you know, there's no such thing as endings. There's just this rebirth
Mm-hmm.
that's constantly working through, and our own bodies are the best, most amazing teachers of this process.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get to see it through the trees and the flowers and the seasons, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
Oh,
amazing.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So thank you so wholeheartedly for being an amazing teacher and walking the talk, walking the path
Aw.
before so many.
It's been an honor just to get to do it with people like yourself. We had some really beautiful ladies sign up, and it was beautiful that we could do it during your Venus Labyrinth workshop too. That was just, it was such perfect timing. All of it was divine timing. It honestly, it just felt, everything just fell into place, didn't it? It was like the universe was this little conductor just curating this gorgeous little dance of the right time, right place, right people. Everything was just there to be an amazing little show. It was lovely. I loved it.
Yeah.
But yeah, bring on what? We've only got about 14 months before we can do a Venus Labyrinth again, don't we?
Yes.
Can't
October
wait.
2026.
Can't wait. Actual can't wait.
Watch this space.
Exactly. Oh, I'm there. Sign me up. I'm already logged in. But
Now, where do you see yourself like this time next year, like being moments away from graduating? What does life look like for you?
life looks like it's going to be hot and sweaty because I'm going to be in Port Hedland, WA. So it's going to be hot. Um, it's going to be busy. I know it's going to be busy. This next year of study just ramps up with a whole heap of case receivables, assignments, and stuff. Oh, I don't know. I'm really excited to see where my homeopathy journey takes me because I, like, from business, right? You get told niche down, niche down, niche down. I can't niche down. As a Manny Gen, I am going to bounce all over the place. I need variety in my life. That's why homeopathy ticks my boxes so hard because you can niche down and you're still going to be looking all over the place. Um, I don't know. I love the idea of working. I will definitely love to work with the menses and with women who are either perimenopausal, menopausal, coming into their cycle or leaving their cycle. I feel like that's really cool. I love the idea of working with like your follicular cycle as a woman in general. Like I learned about that a few years ago just from a business podcast, and they just really briefly touched on like as a woman you've got different phases where you should be resting, you are at your most beautiful, you should be out there marketing yourself, you should be hibernating, you should be rejuvenating. I really am going to lean into that over the next 12 months and really embrace that for myself too. And I'd love to help other women do that. um and like the detoxing and the fasting, like that lady fasts like a girl, like I want to throw all of that in together where it's like you're embracing your feminine, because we are like, you get taught that you can do anything a man can do. Sure, sort of, but we're not meant to. We're not men, we're women. And I think that's actually what I've come out of like doing these men's triturating, and that is actually going like, you know what, I'm going to embrace being a woman, not trying to be the toughest, manliest version of myself. This next year is going to be all about being the most feminine version of myself and absolutely loving the hell out of it. And then I don't know how, but somehow that's all going to play a part in, I think, how I practice as a homeopath down the track. I really do feel like that's going to be a big part of my homeopathic journey. And I could be wrong, who knows? In 12 months' time, I could have a totally different idea, but I'm really keen to lean in on that.
I think that's so beautiful, and the type of patients that you will attract to you are going to meet you because that's what they're needing in themselves.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Because I really, yeah, I just love being in a position where you can just let people be but themselves. Like it's a real honor to have someone come to you and just go, this is my life story. And you're just like, thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. Because not everyone wants to tell you all
Yeah.
their things. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people, there's this always someone a lot of us are dealing with some heavy things that, we need the proper care, and it's just unfortunate that the conventional allopathic route is not meeting those demands.
Not on an individual level, right? Like I am all for allopathic medicine. We need surgery, we need doctors, we need nurses, we need midwives. Like all of that is just so, but I mean, if 2020 showed us anything, our our mental health state is definitely needing just people that have the time to listen.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the beauties of being a homeopath is like when you do a consultation, you're giving someone minimum an hour of your time, sometimes 2 hours of your time to just hear their story and like really let them tell you how they feel and how that affected them. And
Yeah,
it's amazing what our feelings do to our body, right?
sure.
Yeah.
And you've obviously seen it through working with your own homeopath, the changes that happen when you unravel this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Definitely. And the things that you don't even know made the difference. Like that catalyst, hey? There's things that you wouldn't even put two and two together until it's sort of asked of you, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, that's when that toothache started, or that's when that never going away niggle in the back of my throat happened, or yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. Very excited for the journey.
So, so good.
Who knows where it will take me, but I'm sure it'll be an awesome, awesome journey.
I'm here to cheer you on.
Thank you. I'm here to cheer you on too, because you're not going to be far behind me in this marathon.
Uh,
I love it.
saying, bring, like, the song Wake Me Up When September Comes.
Yes, yes, I
When
love Green Day.
school
Green Day
starts.
is my favorite band.
On.
Good song, good
Yes,
song.
yes.
And September's not far away, hey?
No.
This year is just in hyper speed, and I know a lot of people have been coming into the clinic lately just going like, where has the year gone? It's yeah, we're nearly halfway there. It's insane.
It is. It is.
Yeah, so it won't be long, and I'll be 2026 graduating in June, and then yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes.
We'll have to have you on again, and this time it'll be introducing Amy, the homeopath, the witch homeopath.
Mm.
We
Should we
get
do a graduation special? Because
that
I'm
would be
actually
cool.
flying to the UK for 2026 graduation in June, and we could do a whole little, oof, where are we now?
Well, maybe we could do this in Stonehenge.
Yeah, well, we are. We're going to Stonehenge. Are you coming? Tell me you're coming.
I was invited, so who
Oh,
knows?
you gotta come. Come on. It's Stonehenge. And we're gonna go see crop circles. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna go see crop and I decided today we're gonna go visit Mary Magdalena's cave in France.
Oh,
So come on. Come and yes. How can you say no to that, right?
oh my God.
Yes.
Oh,
It'll be incredible. It'll be absolutely incredible. I figure if I'm going to the UK, I'm climbing the Eiffel Tower, have to do Stonehenge. I'm hoping, like anything, there's going to be fresh crop circles to go and check out, and Mary Magdalena's cave. That just has to be done.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
love having things to look forward to. This is profound.
I feel like it'll be epic, and it'll be my, I don't even know how old I'm turning. I'm turning 38, so it'll be my 39th birthday. So I feel like 39, it's like, yeah, yeah, got to do something before my 40th. And then 40 is an amazing magical number too. So who knows? Might have to go back again for your graduation, which
Yes. That's how we convince our husband. She came to mine. I have to go to
well,
hers.
exactly. It's only fair. It's only fair. Yeah, see, it's written in the it's in the stars.
So
Just tell
good.
him it's my chart, babe.
I have
Astrologically.
to check your astrocartography for the UK and Europe.
Yes, just as long as it's good. Don't tell me if it's bad.
When the intention's there,
Oh, it'll be fine, right? It'll have to
yeah,
be.
absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much for this chat. I've
Thank
loved.
you. I would love to know if you have any wise words for anyone who's on the fence about, just following their passion, following their dream, because you're a living epitome of this.
My grandma used to say this beautiful little quote. I'll probably butcher it now, but she was always like, if you aim for the moon, you'll land in the stars. Which actually, the more I think about it as an adult, I'm like, the moon is so much closer than the stars, grandma. So I don't know where your logic is there, but I can see where you're coming from. And I just think like life's too short to not try. And I do tell my kids that it's like, what's the worst thing that happens if you fail? Like, are you not better off living a life where you have tried and had a go at things than just sitting there being scared that you might fail? Because I mean, either way, we're only here for a short time. You might as well have a good time. Who cares what other people think? Everyone is always going to judge you no matter what you do, whether you are successful or a failure. You are still going to be judged. That is just the way of the world. That is just the way human beings are. So fuck them. Do what you want.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll have a great time along the way. And worst case scenario, you got some really good stories for if you make it to the old people home.
There you go. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're wishing you all the best in the next year of your studies and can't wait to see, you blossom and shine as, you graduate and you're able to serve so many people in the homeopathic healing industry.
I can't wait for that. I actually can't. I love to listen to people's stories. So if I can then help at the end of that story, that's going to be incredible. It is absolutely incredible.
Thank you, Amy.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Wherever you're listening from, if you can give us a review and a 5-star rating, that would be so helpful in supporting this podcast. If this lights you up and inspires you in any way, then please make sure that you share this episode with others and reach out to me and let me know. I'm beyond grateful and blessed to call this work. Together, we learn, grow, and evolve. Staying anchored in your heart means staying anchored to your humanity. All my love, Natasha.